Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to another Beamer chat. Today, we're going to be taking a look at your shoulder. And really, when you take a look at your shoulder, it's the most complex joint of your body. It gives you amazing amounts of movements in so many different directions. But by doing so, it really sets you up for a greater chance of problems in your shoulders. And a lot of times, we never even think about our shoulder until it starts to bother us. So let me just share my screen here and we'll get you started on some pictures as we talk a little bit further about your shoulder. There it is. Okay, what a complex joint it is. It's made up of three main bones. The first one is the humerus. And so this long bone of your arm, and you can remember the humerus because what's found at the end on your elbow, it's called your funny bone, your humerus. Right. Next, we have your scapula. And the scapula is the flat bone on your back. And this is going to ride up and down over your rib cage. We also call it your shoulder blade, your shoulder blade. And then the third bone is your clavicle, which is right here in the front, or your collarbone. You can see the scapula has some funny little protrusions to it. And those are beautiful because it really gives this joint capsule, the ball of the humerus, here a spot in order to hold itself, in order for it to rest. And then, two, it also gives plenty of places for the muscles in order to attach to give them a different angle in order to allow all that movement that we're looking for. And so here we have three main bones. And the next picture, we're going to take a look at some of these muscles that you have. There's about 17 different muscles. Now, the four that you hear a lot of are called the rotator, make up the rotator cuff. These four muscles are deep inside the shoulder. And what they do is they stabilize the head of your shoulder, the ball of your ball and socket joint, and they allow it to have that rotation that we need in order to move our hand in so many different ranges of motion. The large muscle here on top of your shoulder is called your deltoid. And then you have muscles in the front of your shoulder, on your chest. You have muscles on the back. You have muscles in your neck, all coming across this shoulder joint in order to give it the stability that it needs, but also that amazing range of motion that we definitely need for our life. Now, taking a look at so many little muscles, they're kind of like the strings of a puppet. So just imagine, right? You have all these different strings, and it's going to be moving the puppet the way that you'd like it to move. What happens if one string is really tight? See, that's going to throw your puppet off. And if you remember back, the ball of this of the joint, if the puppet is off, now when you go through a range of motion, it may be hitting on one of these bony processes here. And so it's really important for all of these muscles to be relaxed and yet strong, the way that they're designed to be, in order to keep your shoulder moving properly in the joint itself. Now, a lot of the things that we do in life, everything is forward, it's in front of us. And we tend to get into these habits of doing the same activities over and over and over again. Some of the habits that can be harmful for our shoulder is this forward head posture that occurs when we're looking at our phone all the time. Maybe we're always on our computer. Maybe you're driving the car. Maybe you're doing some kind of work, right? And so here we are, the head comes forward, and doing so, we're going to see the effect that that has on our shoulder. Why is this important? Well, the front of your shoulder is kind of like a highway system. It has these nerves, and it also has the blood vessels that are going to go down through your arm, through your elbow, through your forearm, your wrist, your hands, your finger. All of this body parts, they all really depend on information coming down through these highways of nerves and the blood vessels to get the oxygen nutrients they need. And if your head comes forward, many times this shoulder will come forward also. And in doing so, what used to be like a 4-lane highway now becomes like a two-lane highway in no time at all. When that happens, well, things slow down and become sluggish, right? You've been in one of those traffic jams before. Important information may be delayed in getting to where it needs to go. And this is when people might feel some weakness, some tightness, maybe some numbness, and even some discomfort and tingling. It can be because there's too much pressure here in this front part of this highway. We got this illustration for you. The difference between someone who slouches and has that head forward, you can see how far that ear is in front of this line here, as compared to, on the other side, someone who has a good posture. The ear is over the shoulder's over the hip. We can see this is wide open. All the information coming from the spine just comes here in the front of the shoulder and down the arm. No pressure at all. That 4-lane highway is wide open. All the information's traveling the way that it needs to. But here in the first picture, we find he's kind of slouching forward, which happens because you do everything forward. You can see there's a impingement of information that's going to be coming in the front of his shoulder. And so how important is it just to make sure you have a good posture? So take the time right now and take a look at your posture. Are your ears over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips? Well, here's a simple exercise we can all do together, a shoulder shrug. And so here we are. Go ahead and lift your shoulders up, roll them backwards, and then let them drop. And in doing so, your shoulder is now sitting in the joint in the best possible position. It's from this position that you can now have free movement to do anything without the head or the ball of that joint hitting on any of those processes. So throughout the day, make sure that you have your posture doing well, where you just take a look at your shoulder and pop it back so that it can just kind of dangle by your arm, by your side, and see how that feels for you. So just be aware. Now, a lot of times I hear people complain about the fact that their shoulders bother them after they've done some repetitive action. One repetitive movement that many people do may be vacuuming. So let's take a look at that. Is this the way that you vacuum? It's the way many do. They stand in one place and with their shoulder, they reach out and then they pull it back in, and they reach out and they pull it back in. Well, the further out your hand is from your shoulder, the more strain is on the shoulder and the neck, and you can even see here the strain on the back. So doing this repetitively throughout the entire room, throughout the entire house, do this a few times a week, and you wonder why your shoulder, your neck, or your back might be a little sore. So what's a better way to vacuum? Well, we found this picture for you. With this one, we find she has her elbow by her side. You want to try to pretend like there is a belt holding your elbow right by your side. And in doing so, that's going to keep all your shoulder in the proper position. Well, how do you vacuum that way? Well, instead of using your shoulder to vacuum, go ahead and use your legs. So as you step forward 3 steps, step back 3 steps, step forward 3 steps, step back 3 steps, kind of like you're dancing with your vacuum cleaner. Take a look at the size of your legs. They have a lot of strength to them. And so it truly takes all the pressure off your neck, your shoulders, your back. And instead, it's a simple walking activity, dancing with your vacuum cleaner, and you can get your vacuuming done without any of that strain on your shoulder. Your shoulder will be totally protected. Now, in the past, I've had people, they come to me and they tell me they have a shoulder problem. And I used to have to try to figure out really what is the problem? Is it muscle? Is it tendon? Is it ligament? Is it the joint? Well, what I love is that now I have a machine. It's an FDA Class 2 medical device called the BEMER. And with that, it sends out a signal. And that signal goes through all the muscle, the tendons, the ligaments, down to the joint capsule, right down to the bone. And in doing so, it stimulates the capillary action, and it's getting blood flowing through capillaries, through every little nook and cranny. That's what's going to bring oxygen and nutrients to your body in order for your body to recover, to heal, to gain in its strength. And so, what a wonderful thing that is. You can see here on the right, he has what we call a B spot. So it's a smaller applicator, and he's put it right over the area that's bothering him the most. It's this highway area, right, that can get a lot impinged a lot of times. And then to add to the ability for it to really work, you can go ahead and put your arm out here at 90 degrees, like you can see in this picture. He's got his arm out a little bit. And then when you take your thumb and you turn your thumb down and you turn your thumb up, that rotation of your thumb is actually occurring in your shoulder. So now just imagine you've got this amazing signal that's going in through every nook and cranny, getting blood flowing. But meanwhile, if while you have it at 90 degrees, you are doing a nice and gentle rotation of your thumb, you're taking these muscles and tendons, and you are just slipping and sliding them over each other, mechanically working the area and allowing the signal to now work microscopically in the area in order to break up any adhesions or difficulties and get things moving back the way that they need to move. So I really like that idea. Now, if you don't feel like holding the B spot, it does come with a strap, or there's a larger applicator called a pad that you could just drape over the shoulder and do it that way. Many people like to run their BEMER when they use these small applicators on a problem. They run it on on the program, and the company has given you program 1, which is really nice. It goes low and into the body, lasts about 8 minutes, the session itself. So that's a beautiful thing to do. If you've got more time, you can go ahead and do program 2. That goes up to 16 minutes and goes a little bit deeper into the body. And so I would rather you probably do either that program 1 or that program 2 with the B spot or the B pad. But you can go ahead and try that. A lot of times we also carry our stress right here on our shoulders, right? And if you were to feel back in here now, do you feel any little nodges, any little lumps? Do your fingers roll over any of those muscles? Yeah, we've got stress that we carry there. So what can we do for that? Because see, this part of your muscle, it affects your shoulder. And remember what we said, if these muscles are tight, what's it going to do to that little puppet? Doop. It'll pull that head of the humerus, your joint, up a little bit more onto those processes. And now you try to go through a range of motion and you can get some movements that may be a little bit uh, discomfort. And so we really want to get rid of this tightness that you have here. And we can do that simply by using the B pad. As you can see here, this woman, she's got it over her shoulders, kind of like a scarf. Okay. And then 2, because you're using the pad, just like the spot, you're using it on a problem. We usually run it on a program. So you can do program 1 for 8 minutes or program 2 for 16 minutes. One of the nice things about these programs too is that you can repeat them later on in the day if you're still having a problem with that joint area. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and summarize all of this. Your shoulders are incredibly complex and powerful structure. They give you the ability to reach, to lift, to carry. They give you the ability to hug, someone that you love. And so take care of your shoulders. And you do so, first of all, by starting with a good posture. And throughout the day, go ahead and check your posture. Make sure your ears are over your shoulders and shoulders over your hip. Number 2, move them through their full range of motion. Sometime during the day, don't just get stuck in your small little range of motion that we do out of habit, but instead bring them through full ranges of motion, get them moving. And then number 3, most importantly, support your body's circulation And the best scientifically proven way to do that is by using that Beamer signal on your shoulders. Because really, at the end of the day, when your shoulders move freely, your life moves freely. You're able to enjoy so much more in life. And truly, isn't that the whole purpose? Not just to live life, but truly enjoy it with energy and movement and no discomfort that would slow us down. So that's what I wish for all of you. I hope that you enjoyed this little summary of your shoulder. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below.